All right, y'all. So, I was gonna say that I hate to say this, but I really don't. Tory Lanez he gives us turtle in the forehead, okay, and it makes sense because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are the only ones who be able to save him now. Filing all these reports, he doing all these complaints against correctional officers, and asking for restraining orders. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, are the only ones that can save you now, honey. Let's talk.
Hello. I appreciate your call. You're now tuned in to my hotline where you can ask me anything. I'm your host, Adrian Expression. Please continue to hold and I'll be with you shortly.
All right, y'all. So before we get into it, I'd just like to let you know that this podcast episode will be available in full on patreon.com/Adrian Expression. If you also want to submit your questions as well to literally ask me anything, make sure you go over there to leave your thoughts, to leave your questions, to leave your comments. I need them all. Thank you all so much for your support. For those of you who have already signed up to my Patreon, like I said, the first few minutes of this episode will be available for everyone on YouTube, but the full episode will be only for my patrons at patreon.com/Adrian Expression. We have a few topics to get into. First, of course, will be Tory Lanez and all this, and Megan and all that. Also, I saw that viral video of just at first, when I saw it was just two guys fighting at a high school graduation. Come to find out, the story is much more intense, much deeper than just two randoms fighting, right? Also, this news of the verdict around Cyrus Belton it's just really heartbreaking, and so I want to talk about that as well. We have a jam-packed episode this go around, so let us begin with Stonehenge Teeth. Y'all already know I like to call him Stone Tablet Teeth. Tory Lanez, all right. And keep in mind, all the articles that I'll be going through will be in my description. New court filings reveal Tory Lanez fears for his safety in prison following a violent stabbing attack and an ongoing dispute with corrections officials. Every time I think about the horror of the prison system, right, I think about the fact that at first, when it first came out, Megan was trying to save face for people, she was just like, oh yeah, whatever, I did step in glass, whatever, and it was just this person, Tory. From what I can remember, it felt like his ego was so bruised that he couldn't just let that be that. Like, he couldn't just let the glass story, stepped in glass story stick and let it be that. He had to keep revving the engines. And then afterward, Megan was like, all right, fine. So it's just like, knowing that none of this had to happen, you know what I mean? Even after you went and did what you did, even after you went and shot this person, like, this didn't even have to happen, knowing even after that she was still like, y'all gonna drag me anyway, like, y'all gonna drag me for being a quote-unquote snitch, even though, like, whatever, like, she, even with that, it still wasn't enough for him. He still had to keep revving those engines, and then she eventually was like, well, I mean, it did happen. And let's keep it clear, the state of California is the one who was coming after him legally. Megan was obviously the victim and the key witness here in this case that the state brought against Tory Lanez, but she did not bring criminal charges herself. And so it's just, it escalated to this place now to where you're behind bars asking for help. You're asking for restraining orders. You're asking, and it did not even have to be all this. Like I said, thinking about the horrors of prison, and even after you didn't did what you did, she was over here still trying to, help you out, even still, and that wasn't enough. I'm just like, so what do you want us to do now, bro? Like, what do you want us to do now, bro? Like, you looking in our face for what? Like, what do you want us to do now? And also, I wonder, every time I think about this, I think about, okay, so what if he had shot a little bit to the, a little bit higher, a little bit over, and hit some vital stuff, right? And then Megan's not here, or, not here to tell her story. What would have happened then? And so, like, there's so many cases where the victims are not alive anymore to tell their story. Like, the fact that none of this was going through your head, and these possibilities at all, none of this was going through your head when them bullets was flying, is like, where's the brain at? As much noggin, you know what I mean? As much as that forehead is giving us rhinoceros, you would think that there's some kind of power behind it, some kind of brain power behind it. It's none. It was none. This article says legal troubles for Tory Lanez now extend beyond his criminal conviction and into a growing dispute with California prison officials. The incarcerated rapper recently secured a temporary restraining order after alleging that a correctional officer at California Men's Colony, oh my gosh, Colony, wow, that's what it's called, Colony, has engaged in behavior that threatens his safety. According to court filings submitted by his attorney, Lanez believes he is being subjected to intimidation and retaliation tied to legal action he has taken against the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. A judge granted temporary relief while the matter moves through the courts. The filing comes just weeks after Lanez pursued a $100 million lawsuit connected to a violent prison attack in 2025 that left him hospitalized. We remember that, with multiple stab wounds and 2 collapsed lungs. His legal team claims a staff member at his current facility referenced that near fatal assault while discussing the possibility of moving him to a different housing unit, raising concerns that he could be placed in an environment where his safety would be at greater risk. And it's just so interesting to me that, like, now you're in it, now you're really in it. But before, this was a possibility before, like, you acted this, like, so it's like you was over here trying to win over the court of public opinion. You were over here paying bloggers, you and your dad paying bloggers and stuff to spread misinformation and lies and stuff. Meanwhile, this is the battle you should have been preparing for. You was over here talking to blogs and trying to get people to lie on blogs and getting all this stuff. I'm gonna talk about that next, because apparently a verdict was overturned in a previous case involving Megan Thee Stallion, or I shouldn't say overturned, it got reinstated, right? This whole defamation suit that I'll talk about later. But it's like, wow, you had all of this to be worried about. Instead, you on the blogs, you fight, you on the internet, like you Twitter fingers and all type of stuff. Meanwhile, it's like real life prison guards you got to be worried about. What you talking about? It's just so wild to see that you facing all of this. Meanwhile, you's paying blogs and stuff. Tory, I really don't know what to tell you. Like, of course, the prison system is crazy and inhumane and all of that. At the same time, it's like, these are new. That is not a new fact. And so the ego that you had, like, while you was on the internet instead of actually fighting for real, it's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It does not make any sense to me. Speaking of Megan Thee Stallion, this is coming from legalaffairsandtrials.com. A federal judge on Friday reinstated a jury's defamation liability verdict against an online commentator sued by rapper Megan Thee Stallion. Milagro Cooper that's the blogger's name, you already know, does not qualify as a media defendant under Florida law because she was, quote unquote, commissioned by rapper Tory Lanez and his family to defame Megan, according to a 25-page order from U.S. District Judge Cecilia M. Altonaga. Now, Lanez is in prison in California for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. We already know that. But this is the same blogger that apparently put out some AI, like, sex tape about Megan, or, involving Megan. It was just a lot of defaming, a lot of lies, a lot of misinformation on purpose, and she'd been warned multiple times to stop it. She just kept going. So it's I remember before covering this lawsuit, covering this case, and I think that obviously the judge had said that Milagro was media, and therefore the case went a little differently, unfortunately for Megan, but here we're getting news that Friday the judge just said, actually, never mind, Milagro, this blogger does not count as a media defendant, and so I think she's gonna get her full money that Megan was looking for. She gonna get that, or try to get that. Try to get that is is the key here. So yeah, Megan has definitely had a few victories recently. But I would definitely say to Tory Lanez that I hope all these people who are pretending to know one of your songs, one and a half of your songs even, I hope that all of them are putting money on your books and all that, since they was doing all that talking, and the only time that you got this influx of so-called fans was when there was violence against a woman. I find that very interesting and telling about your fan base, your brand, and everything. That's all I got to say about you. All right, moving on to this video of this. There was a viral video of somebody just getting absolutely beat up. Like, it was two guys fighting, and I mean, that's what it looked like when I first saw the video. But when you focus in just for more than half a second, it's not really two guys fighting. It's one person. It's one guy dragging, like beating down another guy, like dragging him. It was at a graduation, and dragged him from the top of the the rafters to the bottom, the top of them stairs, them steps to the bottom, and was whamming on his face the whole time. I was like, oh my gosh. The first time I saw it, like I said, I kind of was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.